In this video, we're revealing the common mistakes many make by refrigerating certain foods that actually fare better at room temperature. Stick around until the end to see which items you've been storing incorrectly and how proper storage will enhance flavor and longevity. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more insightful tips on food preservation. Tomatoes. Tomatoes are a staple in kitchens around the world, prized for their versatility and flavor. However, many people make the common mistake of storing tomatoes in the refrigerator, which can lead to a significant loss of taste and an undesirable texture. When tomatoes are subjected to the cold environment of a fridge, the low temperature disrupts their ripening process and affects the compounds that give them their distinct flavor. Tomatoes contain volatile compounds that contribute to their taste and aroma. These compounds are sensitive to temperature changes, especially the cold, which diminishes their activity. As a result, refrigerated tomatoes often taste bland compared to those stored at room temperature. The cold temperature inside a fridge halts the enzymatic activity and the development of natural sugars and acids in the tomato, preventing the full development of its flavor profile. The texture of tomatoes is also compromised when they are refrigerated. The cold causes the breakdown of pectin, the substance that holds the tomato cells together, leading to a mealy, mushy consistency. This textural change is not just unappealing, but can also affect the tomatoes' culinary uses, making them less suitable for dishes where the firmness of the fruit is crucial, such as in salads or as fresh toppings. Additionally, tomatoes are best ripened on the vine under the sun, but once picked, they continue to ripen due to the ethylene gas they emit. Storing them at room temperature allows this natural ripening process to continue, which enhances their flavor and texture. When tomatoes are refrigerated, the cold air slows down the release and effect of ethylene gas, interrupting the ripening process. To maintain the best quality of your tomatoes, they should be stored at room temperature, away from direct sunlight. They should be placed in a single layer, stem side up, to prevent bruising and to allow air circulation around each tomato. This method ensures that the tomatoes continue to ripen and develop their flavor and texture naturally. Bread. Bread is a fundamental element of many diets worldwide, yet storing it properly is often misunderstood, leading to premature staleness and waste. Commonly, people place bread in the refrigerator to prolong its shelf life, but this actually hastens the stalling process. The optimal storage of bread involves keeping it at room temperature, where it retains its moisture and softness for a longer period. The primary reason why refrigeration is detrimental to bread lies in the process called retrogradation. This involves the starch molecules in bread crystallizing, which occurs faster at cold temperatures like those in a fridge. When bread is stored at room temperature, the crystallization process is slower, thereby preserving the bread's softness and delaying staleness. In contrast, refrigerated bread will become hard and dry much faster due to the accelerated retrogradation. Furthermore, bread is best enjoyed when its texture and flavor are at their peak. Refrigeration not only affects the texture by making it dry and hard, but also diminishes the flavor. The cold environment dulls the nuanced tastes of the bread, especially if it's a variety with delicate flavors such as sourdough or rye. These types of bread have flavors that develop through fermentation and complex chemical reactions, which cold temperatures can mute. For those looking to keep bread fresh for more than a few days, freezing is a far better option than refrigeration. Freezing bread pauses the stalling process entirely and preserves its moisture content. When you're ready to eat it, thawing the bread or toasting it directly from the freezer can revive its fresh-baked taste and texture. To store bread properly at room temperature, it should be kept in a bread box or a bag that allows some air circulation, which helps to prevent mold growth and maintain a crusty exterior, especially for artisanal loaves. Plastic bags are not ideal for long-term storage at room temperature as they trap moisture and can speed up the molding process. Onions. Onions, a ubiquitous ingredient in cuisines worldwide, have specific storage needs that, when not met, can lead to decreased quality and waste. Common practice might lead some to store onions in the refrigerator. However, this environment is detrimental to their preservation. Onions should be kept in a cool, dry place to maintain their texture and flavor. Refrigeration exposes onions to moisture and cold temperatures, conditions that can accelerate spoilage and lead to a soft, moldy texture. The nature of onions' cell structure makes them susceptible to absorbing moisture. In the refrigerated environment, the high humidity levels can infiltrate the onion, breaking down its firm structure and leading to a mushy consistency. This moisture can also foster mold growth and rot, significantly shortening the onion's shelf life. Moreover, onions contain complex sugars and organic compounds that contribute to their sharp, pungent flavor. When stored at cold temperatures, these compounds can break down or alter, affecting the onion's taste. The cold environment in a fridge can also cause onions to become bland or develop an off flavor, deviating from their characteristic taste that is essential in cooking. Another critical aspect of onion storage is air circulation. Onions require good ventilation to prevent moisture accumulation, which can lead to decay. The confined, humid conditions of a refrigerator restrict airflow around the onions, exacerbating moisture-related issues. In contrast, storing onions in a mesh bag or a basket in a well-ventilated dry area of the kitchen or pantry allows the air to circulate freely around them, reducing the risk of spoilage. To maximize the shelf life and quality of onions, they should not only be kept out of the fridge, but also stored separately from other produce. Onions release gases that can accelerate the ripening and spoilage of nearby fruits and vegetables. A cool, dark, and dry storage area is ideal, such as a pantry or a cellar, where the temperature and humidity levels are stable and conducive to preserving the onion's firm texture and sharp flavor. Potatoes. Potatoes, a versatile and widely consumed staple, have specific storage requirements that are often overlooked, leading to compromised quality and taste. Storing potatoes in the refrigerator is a common mistake that affects their flavor and texture negatively. The cold environment of a fridge causes the starches in potatoes to convert into sugars, resulting in a sweet taste and an undesirable texture when cooked. The starch-to-sugar conversion process is a natural response of the potato to cold temperatures, which in the natural environment would help the plant survive frost and cold weather. However, in the culinary context, this increased sugar content leads to potatoes that brown too quickly when fried, baked, or roasted, and can produce a grainy, overly sweet taste that is far from the desired earthy, starchy flavor of well-stored potatoes. Moreover, the texture of potatoes can become gritty and unpleasant when they are kept at refrigerated temperatures. The altered sugar content affects the way potatoes cook, often resulting in an inconsistent texture that is neither pleasant to the palate nor suitable for most potato-based dishes. This is particularly problematic for varieties meant to be fluffy or crisp, such as those used for baking, mashing, or frying. Ideal storage conditions for potatoes are in a cool, dark, and well-ventilated space. This environment mimics the natural soil conditions where potatoes thrive, away from the light, which can induce sprouting and the production of solanine, a natural toxin that can make potatoes taste bitter and is potentially harmful if consumed in large quantities. A pantry, cellar, or a dark cupboard away from heat sources and sunlight provides the best storage environment, maintaining the potatoes' flavor and texture integrity. It's also important to remove potatoes from any plastic packaging and store them in a breathable container like a paper bag, a cardboard box, or a mesh bag. This setup allows for adequate air circulation and prevents the accumulation of moisture, which can lead to rot and spoilage. Garlic. Garlic, known for its strong flavor and numerous health benefits, is another staple ingredient that suffers from improper storage. Storing garlic in the refrigerator is not advisable as it can lead to sprouting, mold growth, and a rubbery texture. The optimal way to store garlic is in a cool, dry place where it can maintain its flavor and firmness. When garlic is stored in the refrigerator, the cold and moist environment triggers it to sprout. Sprouting alters the flavor of garlic, making it taste bitter and less pungent than fresh garlic. This is because the sprouting process uses the garlic's stored energy, which changes its chemical composition and, consequently, its taste. Moreover, the moisture in the fridge can penetrate the garlic cloves, leading to a soft, rubbery texture and promoting mold growth, which further decreases the quality and shelf life of the garlic. Garlic contains allicin, an organosulfur compound responsible for its distinct aroma and taste. The formation and stability of allicin are affected by temperature and humidity. Cold temperatures in the refrigerator can diminish the potency of allicin, reducing the garlic's flavor intensity and health benefits. Therefore, maintaining garlic in a non-refrigerated environment helps preserve its allicin content, and by extension, its taste and nutritional value. The ideal storage for garlic is in a dry, well-ventilated area, away from direct sunlight. Garlic benefits from air circulation, which prevents moisture accumulation and mold growth. A garlic keeper or a mesh bag hung in a pantry or kitchen, away from heat sources, provides the perfect environment. These storage methods ensure that garlic remains dry, firm, and flavorful for longer periods. It is also beneficial to keep garlic whole until you are ready to use it. Once you break a head of garlic and expose the individual cloves, they begin to deteriorate faster. Therefore, only separate and peel the amount of garlic you will use immediately to maintain the freshness and longevity of the remaining cloves. Bananas. Bananas are a beloved fruit known for their sweet taste, convenience, and health benefits. However, storing bananas in the refrigerator can lead to several issues that affect their texture, flavor, and overall quality. Bananas should be kept at room temperature until they reach the desired ripeness, and even then refrigeration should be done cautiously and for a short duration. Refrigerating bananas slows down their ripening process because the cold temperature inhibits the release of ethylene gas, a natural plant hormone responsible for ripening. When bananas are stored in the fridge before they are fully ripe, they may never ripen properly or develop their full flavor and sweetness. The cold environment can also cause the banana peels to turn brown or black prematurely, while the fruit inside may remain underripe and hard. Additionally, the texture of bananas is adversely affected by refrigeration. Cold temperatures can cause the cellular structure of the banana to break down, leading to a mushy and unappetizing texture. This is especially noticeable when bananas are refrigerated for an extended period. While the peel may look unappealing, the fruit inside can still be eaten, but the textural change can detract from the enjoyment of the fruit. Once bananas have reached the desired level of ripeness at room temperature, they can be refrigerated to slow down further ripening and decay. However, this should be done for only a short period, as prolonged refrigeration will eventually lead to the aforementioned issues. The key is to monitor the ripeness and only refrigerate bananas when necessary and for as brief a time as possible. To best preserve bananas, they should be stored in a cool, dry place, away from direct sunlight and not in a sealed bag or container, as this can trap ethylene gas and accelerate ripening. Hanging bananas on a banana hanger can prevent bruising and promote even ripening by allowing air to circulate around them. Avocados. Avocados, with their creamy texture and rich nutritional profile, are favored in many dishes and cuisines. The storage of avocados is crucial to maintaining their quality and taste. Refrigerating avocados before they are ripe can lead to uneven ripening and diminished flavor, making room temperature the ideal condition for ripening avocados. Avocados ripen through the action of ethylene gas, which they naturally produce. The ripening process requires a consistent, warm environment to proceed effectively. Refrigerating unripe avocados disrupts this process, halting the production and action of ethylene gas, and can result in avocados that are hard in some places and soft in others. This uneven ripening affects not only the texture but also the taste of the avocado, as the flavors develop fully during the ripening process. Once avocados are ripe, they can be refrigerated for a short period to prolong their freshness and prevent overripening. In the fridge, the cold temperature slows down the ripening process, extending the avocado's life for several days. This can be beneficial when you have multiple avocados that ripen simultaneously but won't be used right away. The timing of refrigeration is key to preserving the quality of avocados. They should only be placed in the fridge once they've reached the peak of ripeness, indicated by their slightly soft feel when gently pressed. If refrigerated too early, the avocados may never reach their full flavor potential and can remain too firm for enjoyable consumption. To maximize the shelf life and quality of avocados, they should be stored at room temperature in a well-ventilated area until they ripen. If you need to accelerate the ripening process, placing avocados in a paper bag with an apple or banana can increase the concentration of ethylene gas in the environment, speeding up ripening. Once ripe, if immediate use is not planned, they can be moved to the refrigerator to slow down any further ripening. Honey, a natural sweetener with a long shelf life, is a pantry staple worldwide. Unlike many other food items, honey does not benefit from refrigeration. In fact, storing honey in the refrigerator can lead to crystallization, making it thick and grainy. To preserve its quality and ease of use, honey should be stored at room temperature. The crystallization of honey is a natural process where glucose sugar separates from the liquid and forms crystals. While crystallization does not mean that the honey has gone bad or is of inferior quality, it can make honey less appealing and more difficult to use. Cold temperatures, such as those in a refrigerator, accelerate this crystallization process. At room temperature, honey remains in a more liquid state, delaying crystallization and maintaining its smooth texture. Honey's natural composition gives it a high sugar content and low water activity, which are unfavorable conditions for bacterial growth or spoilage. This means that honey can be stored indefinitely at room temperature without the risk of spoiling. The antimicrobial properties of honey, due to its low water content and the presence of hydrogen peroxide, further contribute to its long shelf life. To best store honey, it should be kept in a tightly sealed container to prevent it from absorbing moisture from the air, which can lead to fermentation and affect its flavor and texture. A cabinet or pantry away from direct sunlight and heat sources is ideal, as consistent temperature and darkness help preserve honey's quality and prevent degradation of its natural flavors and properties. When honey crystallizes, it can easily be returned to its liquid state by gently heating it. Placing the container of honey in warm water and slowly warming it will dissolve the crystals, restoring the honey's smooth texture without damaging its nutrients or flavor. Coffee. Coffee, whether in bean or ground form, is a daily essential for many, offering rich flavors and aromas that can be diminished if stored improperly. Refrigerating coffee is not recommended, as it can lead to loss of flavor and increased moisture absorption. The best way to preserve the distinctive taste and freshness of coffee is to store it in a cool, dry place. The primary reason why coffee should not be refrigerated is that it is hygroscopic, meaning it readily absorbs moisture from its surroundings. The refrigerator environment, with its fluctuating humidity and presence of odors, can lead to coffee absorbing moisture and smells from other foods. This moisture absorption not only causes coffee to clump and become hard to handle, but also deteriorates its quality, leading to a stale taste and less aromatic brew. Temperature fluctuations are another concern with refrigerating coffee. Each time the coffee is taken out of the fridge and exposed to room temperature, condensation can form on its surface. This condensation contributes to the moisture problem, further accelerating the loss of flavor and freshness. Consistent temperature and humidity levels are crucial for preserving the integrity of coffee's complex flavors and aromas. Coffee's flavor compounds are volatile and sensitive to environmental changes. Storing coffee at room temperature, away from direct sunlight, heat, and moisture, helps maintain these compounds. An airtight container is essential for keeping coffee fresh, as it prevents air, moisture, and odors from affecting the coffee. Glass or ceramic containers with airtight seals are ideal for storing coffee because they do not transfer flavors and protect the coffee from light. For those looking to extend the shelf life of coffee, freezing is a better option than refrigeration. If coffee must be stored for a long time, it can be frozen in an airtight container to prevent moisture and odor absorption. However, once taken out of the freezer, the coffee should remain at room temperature to avoid condensation and flavor loss. Melons. Melons, such as watermelons, cantaloupes, and honeydews, are refreshing fruits that are often consumed during warm weather for their juicy and sweet flavor. Storing whole melons in the refrigerator is not advisable as it can lead to a reduction in flavor and nutrients. Melons should be kept at room temperature until they are cut to maintain their taste and health benefits. The cold temperature of a refrigerator can negatively affect the enzymatic activity in melons, slowing down or halting the ripening process. Ripening is crucial for developing the full flavor and sweetness of melons, as it allows the natural sugars to form and accumulate. When whole melons are refrigerated, their ripening process is disrupted, leading to less flavorful and less sweet fruit. Moreover, research has shown that storing melons at room temperature can help maintain their antioxidant levels. Cold storage can reduce the levels of certain antioxidants in melons, such as beta-carotene in cantaloupe and lycopene in watermelon, which are important for their health-promoting properties. Keeping melons at room temperature helps preserve these beneficial compounds and ensures the fruit contributes its full nutritional value. Once melons are cut, they should be refrigerated to prevent bacterial growth and spoilage. The exposed flesh of cut melons is perishable and can quickly become a breeding ground for bacteria if left at room temperature. Therefore, cut melons should be stored in the refrigerator in an airtight container to keep them fresh and safe to eat. To store whole melons properly, place them in a cool, dry place, away from direct sunlight until they are ripe and ready to eat. The ripening process can be checked by assessing the melon's aroma and giving a gentle press to the skin to feel for slight softness. Once ripe or cut, melons should be moved to the refrigerator to slow down the degradation process and prolong their freshness. Stone fruits. Stone fruits, including peaches, plums, and cherries, are celebrated for their juicy flesh and sweet, tangy flavors. These fruits continue to ripen after being picked and should not be refrigerated before they reach ripeness, as the cold environment can halt their ripening process, affect their texture, and diminish their flavor. Refrigerating stone fruits before they are ripe can lead to a condition known as chill damage. This condition results in fruits that are mealy, flavorless, and less juicy. The cold temperature of the refrigerator disrupts the enzymatic activities that are essential for the development of the fruit's natural sugars and flavor compounds. As a result, stone fruits that are refrigerated too soon may never fully ripen or develop their characteristic sweet and tangy taste. The ripening process of stone fruits involves the conversion of starches into sugars, which enhances their sweetness and overall flavor profile. At room temperature, this process occurs efficiently, allowing the fruits to soften and become more flavorful. When stone fruits are kept at a consistent room temperature, they ripen evenly, resulting in a better texture and taste. Once stone fruits have reached their peak ripeness, they can be refrigerated to extend their freshness and prevent over-ripening. However, this should only be done when they are fully ripe, as refrigeration at this stage will only slow down the natural degradation process, without altering the flavor or texture significantly. To properly store stone fruits, keep them at room temperature on a countertop or in a fruit bowl where they can breathe and ripen evenly. Avoid stacking them as pressure can cause bruising and accelerate spoilage. Once ripe, if not consumed immediately, stone fruits can be stored in the refrigerator's crisper drawer to extend their life for a few more days. Basil. Basil, a fragrant herb beloved for its fresh, peppery flavor, is often used to enhance a variety of culinary dishes. However, storing basil in the refrigerator can lead to rapid deterioration and loss of flavor. Instead, basil thrives best when stored at room temperature, where it can maintain its vibrant color and aromatic qualities. Refrigerating basil can cause it to wilt and turn black quickly. The cold temperature damages the delicate leaves, leading to cell breakdown and moisture loss, which in turn causes the herb to lose its structure and freshness. The humid environment of the refrigerator can also contribute to the development of mold and bacteria on the leaves, further reducing its shelf life and usability. Basil, like many herbs, continues to respire after it has been picked. This process requires oxygen and releases carbon dioxide, and it is best facilitated at room temperature. In the cold, confined space of a refrigerator, basil cannot respire effectively, which hastens its decline. The cold also diminishes the volatile oils in basil, which are responsible for its aroma and flavor, leading to a less flavorful herb. The best way to store basil is to treat it like a bouquet of flowers. Trim the stems and place the basil in a glass or jar of water, just like cut flowers. This method keeps the basil hydrated and allows it to breathe, prolonging its freshness. The glass should be left out on the counter, away from direct sunlight in a well-ventilated area. This setup mimics the natural environment of basil and helps maintain its structure and flavor. Changing the water daily and trimming the stems regularly can further extend the life of basil. This process prevents bacterial growth in the water and ensures the basil can absorb moisture effectively. Additionally, covering the basil loosely with a plastic bag can create a greenhouse effect, keeping the humidity around the herb just right and extending its freshness. Hot sauce. Hot sauce, with its spicy kick and depth of flavor, is a condiment that many rely on to add zest to their meals. Unlike many other food products, hot sauce does not require refrigeration and can maintain its quality and flavor when stored at room temperature. The key factors contributing to this stability are the ingredients and the preservation process used in making hot sauce. Most hot sauces are vinegar-based, which creates an acidic environment that is inhospitable to bacterial growth. Vinegar, a natural preservative, lowers the pH of the sauce to a level where bacteria and mold struggle to survive. This acidic condition, combined with the capsaicin in chili peppers, which also has antimicrobial properties, ensures that hot sauce remains safe and flavorful for a long time when stored in a pantry or cupboard. Refrigeration can alter the viscosity and flavor profile of hot sauce. Cold temperatures can cause some sauces to thicken and become less pourable, affecting their texture and ease of use. While refrigeration does not spoil hot sauce, it can diminish the pungency and complexity of its flavors. Room temperature helps to keep the flavors in hot sauce more pronounced and consistent. Exposure to light and heat, however, can degrade hot sauce over time. The color may fade, and the flavors can become less vibrant if the sauce is stored improperly. Therefore, it's important to store hot sauce in a cool, dark place away from direct sunlight and heat sources. A pantry or a cabinet in the kitchen that does not receive direct sunlight or experience significant temperature fluctuations is ideal for maintaining the quality of hot sauce. The shelf life of hot sauce, even when not refrigerated, is quite long, often extending beyond the best-by date indicated on the bottle. As long as the bottle is sealed properly and stored in appropriate conditions, hot sauce can remain good for months or even years. Opening the bottle does expose the sauce to air and potential contaminants, but due to its acidic nature and the preservatives in it, hot sauce remains stable and safe to consume. Nuts. Nuts, with their rich flavor and healthful fats, are a nutritious snack and a versatile ingredient in cooking. However, storing nuts in the refrigerator can negatively impact their taste and texture. For optimal preservation, nuts should be stored in a cool, dry place, which helps maintain their natural oils and freshness. The cool temperatures of a refrigerator can cause the oils in nuts to solidify, altering their texture and making them less palatable. These oils are responsible for the rich, distinct flavors of nuts, and when they harden, the nuts can become stale and lose their characteristic crunch. Furthermore, the fluctuating humidity levels in a refrigerator can lead to moisture absorption, which not only affects texture but can also promote the growth of mold or lead to rancidity. Nuts are high in unsaturated fats, which are healthy for consumption, but can become rancid when exposed to air, light, and heat. While it might seem counterintuitive, refrigeration can actually accelerate rancidity in nuts due to condensation and exposure to odors from other foods. Rancidity not only makes nuts taste bad, but also diminishes their nutritional value as it leads to the degradation of vitamins and antioxidants. To store nuts properly, they should be kept in an airtight container to protect them from air and moisture, which can speed up the oxidation process and lead to rancidity. A cool, dark place, such as a pantry or cupboard, is ideal for storing nuts. This environment keeps the nuts away from direct sunlight and heat, which can cause the oils to spoil more quickly. For long-term storage, nuts can actually be frozen. Freezing nuts slows down the oxidation process and can preserve their freshness and flavor for several months or even years. If choosing to freeze nuts, ensure they are in airtight containers or freezer bags to prevent freezer burn and flavor transfer from other foods. Chocolate. Chocolate, cherished for its rich flavor and smooth texture, has specific storage requirements to maintain its quality. Refrigerating chocolate is not recommended as it can lead to several issues, including sugar bloom and altered texture. Chocolate is best stored in a cool, dry place where it can retain its taste and consistency. When chocolate is refrigerated, it is exposed to moisture and varying temperatures that can lead to sugar bloom. Sugar bloom occurs when sugar crystals rise to the surface of the chocolate, creating a white, powdery layer. This happens when chocolate is exposed to moisture and the sugar in the chocolate dissolves and then recrystallizes on the surface as it dries. While sugar bloom does not make chocolate unsafe to eat, it does affect its texture and appearance, making it less appealing. The ideal temperature for storing chocolate is between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit with low humidity. These conditions prevent the cocoa butter in chocolate from melting and reforming, which can cause fat bloom, another form of separation that results in a white, chalky appearance on the chocolate's surface. Fat bloom, like sugar bloom, doesn't affect the safety of the chocolate, but can change its texture and taste. Refrigeration can also alter the taste of chocolate. The cocoa butter in chocolate can absorb flavors from other foods stored in the refrigerator, leading to an undesirable taste. Additionally, the sudden temperature changes from the refrigerator to room temperature can affect the chocolate's structure, leading to a less smooth and satisfying mouthfeel. To store chocolate properly, keep it in an airtight container in a cool, dark place, such as a pantry or a cupboard. This method protects the chocolate from light and oxygen, both of which can degrade its quality. If chocolate must be stored for an extended period and room temperature conditions are too warm, it can be wrapped tightly and stored in the coolest part of the house. Or a wine cooler can be used to maintain a consistent and appropriate temperature. Hard cheeses. Hard cheeses, such as Parmesan, aged cheddar, and Pecorino, have a low moisture content, which contributes to their firm texture and long shelf life. These cheeses do not always need to be refrigerated, and in some cases can benefit from being stored at room temperature for short periods, especially when they are to be consumed soon. The low moisture content in hard cheeses makes them less susceptible to bacterial growth compared to softer cheeses. This characteristic allows them to be stored safely at room temperature for a limited time, enhancing their flavor and texture. When hard cheeses are kept too cold, Their flavors can become muted, and the texture can harden excessively, making them difficult to slice or grate. Storing hard cheese at room temperature for a short period before consumption can bring out its full range of flavors, allowing the cheese to express its nuanced taste profile more effectively. The warmer temperature helps to release the fatty acids and amino acids that contribute to the cheese's aroma and flavor, providing a more enjoyable eating experience. However, it is important to manage the duration that hard cheese is kept out of the refrigerator. Extended exposure to warm temperatures can lead to oiling off, where the fat within the cheese separates and rises to the surface, and can also accelerate spoilage in the long run. Therefore, while hard cheeses can be left out for a few hours or during a meal, they should be returned to the refrigerator afterwards to preserve their quality and extend their shelf life. To store hard cheese properly, wrap it in parchment or wax paper, followed by a loose layer of plastic wrap, or place it in a cheese container. This method allows the cheese to breathe and prevents moisture buildup, which can lead to mold growth. The cheese should be kept in the least cold part of the refrigerator, such as the vegetable drawer, where the temperature is more consistent and slightly warmer than the rest of the fridge. Whole spices. Whole spices, known for their aromatic and flavor-enhancing properties, are integral to culinary traditions worldwide. Storing whole spices in the refrigerator is not recommended, as it can lead to condensation and loss of potency. The optimal storage for these aromatic essentials is in a cool, dry, and dark place to preserve their flavor and extend their shelf life. The primary issue with refrigerating whole spices is the introduction of moisture. Spices absorb moisture from the air, and the humid environment of a refrigerator can exacerbate this. Moisture absorption leads to clumping and can also accelerate the deterioration of the volatile oils that give spices their distinct aromas and flavors. These oils are sensitive to changes in temperature and humidity, and their degradation results in less flavorful spices. Additionally, spices stored in the refrigerator are prone to cross-contamination from the odors of other foods stored nearby. Spices can absorb these odors, altering their natural aroma and purity. This contamination can significantly affect the quality of the spices and, in turn, the dishes they are used to flavor. The ideal condition for storing whole spices is in airtight containers placed in a cool, dark cupboard or drawer away from direct sunlight and heat sources like stoves or ovens. Exposure to light and heat can cause the spices to lose their color and flavor more quickly. Dark-colored glass containers or opaque tins are especially good for storing spices, as they block light and prevent oxidation, helping to maintain the potency of the spices. Regularly checking the freshness of spices is important, as their flavor and aroma diminish over time. Whole spices tend to retain their quality longer than ground spices, often staying fresh for up to 3 years if stored properly. However, they should still be used while their scent and flavor are robust to take full advantage of their culinary potential. Pumpkin. Pumpkins, with their hard rind and sturdy nature, are more than just a symbol of autumn and Halloween. They are a nutritious vegetable that can last for months if stored properly. Refrigerating pumpkins is not recommended, especially for whole pumpkins, as the cold temperature can lead to condensation and accelerate decay. Instead, pumpkins are best stored in a cool, dry place to preserve their freshness and longevity. The structure of a pumpkin, with its thick outer skin, is designed to protect the inner flesh, allowing it to be stored for an extended period when kept in the right conditions. Refrigeration can cause the pumpkin's skin to soften, which compromises its natural protective barrier. This softening leads to quicker spoilage and can make the pumpkin susceptible to mold and bacteria. Moreover, the cold environment of a refrigerator can lead to the formation of condensation on the surface of the pumpkin. This excess moisture can penetrate the skin, especially if it has softened, promoting the growth of mold and leading to rot from the inside out. Such conditions significantly reduce the shelf life of the pumpkin and can render it inedible. Pumpkins thrive in cool, dry conditions with optimal storage temperatures ranging from 50 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit. These conditions are typically found in a cellar, pantry, or a cool room in the house, away from direct sunlight and heat sources. The area should be well ventilated to prevent moisture buildup and to allow air to circulate around the pumpkin, reducing the risk of decay. When storing pumpkins, it's important to ensure that they are not in direct contact with the floor or each other. Placing them on a piece of cardboard or a wooden board can help to protect them from moisture on the surface they are resting on. Additionally, keeping space between pumpkins allows air to flow freely around them, minimizing the risk of moisture accumulation and mold growth. Olive oil. Olive oil, a staple in many kitchens for its flavor and health benefits, is sensitive to temperature changes, light, and exposure to air. Refrigerating olive oil is not advisable as it can lead to solidification and cloudiness, and it may also affect the oil's flavor and aroma. To preserve the quality of olive oil, it should be stored in a cool, dark place at room temperature. When olive oil is exposed to cold temperatures, such as those in a refrigerator, it begins to solidify and become cloudy. This change is due to the oil's fatty acids crystallizing at lower temperatures. While this does not harm the oil or make it unsafe to consume, it does alter the oil's texture and can be inconvenient, as the oil needs to return to room temperature to liquefy fully and be usable again. The solidification process can also cause olive oil to lose some of its nuanced flavors and aromatic qualities. Olive oil is known for its complex flavors, which can range from fruity and grassy to peppery and bitter, depending on the variety and origin of the olives used. Cold temperatures can mute these delicate flavors, diminishing the sensory experience of the oil when used in cooking or as a dressing. Olive oil should be stored in a dark, airtight container to protect it from light and oxygen, both of which can accelerate the oxidation process and lead to rancidity. Exposure to light, especially sunlight, can break down the oil's compounds, affecting its taste and nutritional value. Similarly, air exposure increases the risk of oxidation, which can degrade the oil's quality over time. The ideal storage condition for olive oil is in a cool pantry or cupboard, away from heat sources like stoves or ovens, and out of direct sunlight. The temperature should be consistent, preferably between 57 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit, to maintain the oil's stability and prevent any adverse effects of temperature fluctuations. Glass bottles, particularly dark-tinted ones, are excellent for storing olive oil as they can protect the oil from light while allowing you to monitor the oil's clarity and color. Citrus fruits. Citrus fruits such as lemons, limes, oranges, and grapefruits are known for their vibrant flavors and high vitamin C content. While refrigeration can prolong their shelf life, it is not always necessary and can sometimes be detrimental to their quality. Citrus fruits can be stored at room temperature, where they continue to ripen and develop their flavors. Storing citrus fruits in the refrigerator can cause them to lose moisture, leading to a drier, less juicy fruit. The cold environment can slow down the natural degradation process, but it also hinders the ripening process, which can affect the development of the fruit's full flavor and aromatic profile. Citrus fruits kept at room temperature often have a more robust flavor and higher juice content compared to those stored in the fridge. The rind of citrus fruits can also become tough and lose its vibrant color when refrigerated for extended periods. This is not ideal, especially for fruits where the zest is used in cooking or baking, as it can affect both the texture and the aesthetic appeal of the dish. Moreover, the aromatic oils in the skin, which contribute significantly to the fruit's overall sensory profile, are best preserved at room temperature. However, once citrus fruits are cut, or if they are approaching overripeness, refrigeration can help preserve their freshness and prevent spoilage. In this case, storing them in a sealed container or plastic bag in the fridge can extend their life for a few more days. For optimal storage, citrus fruits should be kept in a cool, well-ventilated place away from direct sunlight. They can be placed in a fruit bowl or on a countertop where air can circulate freely around them, reducing the risk of mold growth and extending their shelf life. If you have a large quantity of citrus fruits, make sure they are not piled on top of each other, as this can cause pressure points and lead to bruising and quicker spoilage. We've reached the end of our video on which foods to keep out of the refrigerator. If you're eager to learn more, click the video showing on your screen and keep watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more informative content.